On my 30th birthday, I opened Instagram and saw my family surprising my sister with a trip to Paris. Under the post, my mom had commented, "She's the only one who makes US proud." I just smiled, logged into the family bank account, and clicked withdraw. What if the people who were supposed to love you unconditionally, the ones you sacrificed everything for, turned out to be the biggest betrayers of your life? My 30th birthday wasn't just a day. It was the moment my world shattered, revealing a truth so cold, it froze me to my core. Asterisk, asterisk, I was staring at my phone screen, utterly numb. My 30th birthday cake sat untouched in front of me, a lonely little cupcake I'd bought myself from the bakery downstairs. The comment? My mom's. On my sister Brooke's Instagram post. "She's the only one who makes us proud." Brooke, grinning at the airport, luggage in tow, about to jet off to Paris, a surprise trip from our parents. The comments underneath were gushing, full of heart emojis. And there I was, Ashley, turning 30 in a quiet Richmond apartment, a pharmaceutical sales rep making decent money, but mostly just existing. That morning, I'd woken up hoping for a call, a text, anything. Instead, silence. Then, that post. I refreshed it, desperate to have misread it. But no, there it was. Brooke, for years younger, beaming. And my mom's words, pinned right at the top. Honestly, I wasn't really surprised. This was just how it had always been. Brooke was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong. All the attention, all the praise, all the support. Me? I was the backup plan, the one they tolerated, but never, ever celebrated. Growing up, Brooke got the best room, new clothes, private tutors. I got hand-me-downs, a pat on the head for straight A's. When Brooke wanted dance lessons, my parents paid without a thought. When I wanted photography classes, my dad said we couldn't afford it. Focus on practical things, Ashley. So, I worked at a grocery store, saved up, and bought a used camera. My parents never came to my small art show, but they were front row, with flowers, at every single one of Brooke's dance recitals. That afternoon, I called my mom, just in case she'd forgotten. The phone rang, and rang, and rang. "Oh, Ashley. Hi," she said, her voice distracted. "I'm at the airport with your sister. Can I call you back?" "It's my birthday, Mom." A beat of silence. I could hear the terminal bustle in the background, muffled announcements. "Oh, right. Happy birthday, honey. Listen, we're about to board. I'll call you later, okay?" She hung up before I could even respond. I set the phone down, stared at the sad little cupcake. Then, I opened my laptop and logged into the joint bank account I shared with my parents. The account I'd been contributing to for 6 years. It started when Dad had a health scare. Medical bills piled up. They didn't have great insurance, and they were drowning. I'd just landed my first big sales job, and I wanted to help. So, $500 a month. Straight from my paycheck. It wasn't much, but it added up. I figured it was the least I could do. They were my parents, after all. Except, they never mentioned it. Never thanked me. Never acknowledged the help. When I casually brought it up 2 Thanksgivings ago, my mom waved it off. "Oh, that's sweet of you, Ashley, but we're fine. Really fine." They were fine. And yet, here they were, dropping thousands on a spontaneous trip to Paris for Brooke. I did the math. 6 years, $500 a month. That was $36,000. $36,000 I'd given them, thinking I was helping, thinking maybe it would mean something. I clicked through the account history, my stomach twisting. Groceries, utilities, car payments, normal stuff. But then I saw it. A $4,000 charge labeled travel agency. Another for $1,500 labeled boutique shopping. And just last month, a $10,000 deposit into Brooke's personal account. Memo, gift. They'd been using my money. Not for bills. Not for emergencies. For Brooke. I sat back, hands shaking. I felt like an absolute idiot. All those years, all that money, and they'd just been funneling it to my sister while I scraped by. Living paycheck to paycheck, skipping vacations, holding off on new clothes because I wanted to make sure they were okay. I thought about all the weekend trips with coworkers I'd said no to. The 2 weeks I ate ramen straight because my car needed repairs and I didn't want to touch my emergency fund. All my sacrifices. While they treated Brooke like royalty, with my money. I looked at the cupcake. Then I looked at the screen. And I made a decision. I clicked withdraw. It took me 3 days to move all the money. $36,000. transferred back into my personal account in small enough increments not to trigger any alerts. I told myself I wasn't stealing. It was my money. I'd earned it. I'd given it freely, sure, but they'd lied. They'd taken advantage. So, I was taking it back. The guilt hit me in waves at first. Lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering if I was being petty, overreacting. But then I'd remember Mom's Instagram comment. She's the only one who makes us proud. And the guilt would just evaporate, replaced by something harder, something colder. I didn't tell anyone. Not my friends, not my coworkers. I just kept going to work, kept living my life, kept pretending everything was normal. But inside, I felt different. Lighter, maybe. Or just angrier. Brooke called from Paris on the third day of her trip. I let it go to voicemail. She called again the next day, and the day after. Finally, I answered. Ashley, oh my God, you have to see this city. It's incredible. Mom and Dad are being so generous. We went to the Louvre yesterday, and tonight we're having dinner at this amazing restaurant near the Eiffel Tower. Sounds nice, I said flatly. Are you okay? You sound weird. I'm fine. Just busy. Well, I wanted to thank you. I know you've been helping Mom and Dad out, and I'm sure that's part of why they could do this for me. So thank you. I almost laughed. Almost. Instead, I just said, don't worry about it. You're the best big sister ever. I could hear the smile in her voice. I hung up and threw my phone across the room. The thing about Brooke? She wasn't a bad person. Not mean, not malicious. She was just oblivious. Spoiled, yes, but not intentionally cruel. She genuinely believed the world revolved around her because that's how our parents had raised her. And I couldn't even blame her for that. It wasn't her fault they'd chosen her as the favorite. But it still hurt. I remembered being kids. Maybe 10 and 14. I'd saved my allowance for 3 months to buy a vintage camera from a pawn shop. The day I finally had enough, I ran home, so excited to show my parents. But Brooke had just gotten a bad math grade. My parents were sitting at the kitchen table, consoling her, promising her a new tablet if she brought her grades up. That's great, Ashley, my mom had said, barely glancing up when I showed her the camera. Now go do your homework. I took the camera to my room and cried. Not because I wanted praise, but because I wanted them to care. Just a little bit. I spent the next week researching what to do with the money. I wasn't going to blow it. I wanted to use it wisely, in a way that would actually mean something. I thought about investing it, or a down payment on a house. Then, I stumbled across an ad for a medical billing course. A 6-month program that would certify me in healthcare administration. Something I'd always been interested in, but never had the time or money for. The program cost $8,000 up front. Before, that would have felt impossible. Now, I had the means. I signed up that night. My parents didn't notice the missing money right away. Or if they did, they didn't say anything. But 2 weeks after I withdrew it, my dad called. Ashley, we need to talk. My heart sank. About what? The account. There's been some kind of error. A lot of money is missing. Missing? Yeah. Over $30,000. I called the bank, and they said it was transferred out. Do you know anything about that? I paused, choosing my words carefully. I withdrew it. You what? It was my money, Dad. I put it in there. I took it back out. A long silence. Then, Ashley, that money was for emergencies. We were counting on it. Emergencies? I repeated, my voice tight. Like a trip to Paris? Another silence. That's different, he said finally. How? Brooke needed a break? She's been working so hard. I could feel my anger building. And you and Mom wanted to do something special for her? What about me? I've been putting money into that account for 6 years, Dad. 6 years. And not once did you or Mom say thank you. Not once did you ask if I needed help. You just took it and gave it to Brooke. That's not fair, he said. But his voice lacked any conviction. No, Dad. What's not fair is that I've been busting my ass to support this family while you treat me like I don't exist. So yeah, I took my money back. And I'm not sorry. I hung up before he could respond. My hands were shaking again. But this time, it wasn't from guilt. It was from adrenaline. From finally standing up for myself. It felt good. Terrifying, but good. I poured myself a glass of wine and sat on my couch. Part of me expected to feel worse. To be crushed by guilt. But instead, I felt relief. Like I'd finally cut a rope that had been strangling me for years. The fallout was immediate. My mom called that evening, her voice shrill and accusatory. How could you do this to us, Ashley? We trusted you. Trusted me. I shot back. You've been lying to me for years. We didn't lie. We just didn't think you'd make such a big deal out of it. A big deal? Mom, that was $36,000. $36,000 I gave you because I thought you needed it, and you spent it on Brooke. Brooke is going through a lot right now. She needed our support, and I didn't. My mom didn't answer that. Instead, she said, your father and I are very disappointed in you. I laughed bitterly. Of course you are. Because I'm always the disappointment, aren't I? Brooke can do no wrong, but me? I'm just the screw-up who doesn't deserve anything. Isn't that true? When's the last time you celebrated anything I did, Mom? When's the last time you even asked how I was doing? She was quiet for a long moment. Then, we'll talk about this when you've calmed down. And she hung up. I didn't cry. I wanted to, but the tears wouldn't come. Instead, I felt this hollow ache in my chest. I'd always known my parents had a favorite, but hearing my mom defend it so casually, that was what broke me. I threw myself into the medical billing course. It was a way to distract myself, to channel all the anger and hurt into something productive. The coursework was intense, but I loved it. For the first time in years, I felt like I was doing something for myself. Not for anyone else. Not to prove a point. Just for me. The classes were twice a week in the evenings, and on weekends I studied at a coffee shop. I met other students, people also trying to better their lives. And for once, I didn't feel so alone. One woman, Patricia, a single mom in her 40s, retraining after being laid off. We'd grab lunch, and she'd tell me stories about her kids. You're doing the right thing, she told me one Saturday. Investing in yourself, that's the smartest thing you can do. My coworker, Vanessa, noticed the change in me too. She started inviting me for coffee, asking how I was doing. I didn't tell her everything, but I told her enough. About the money, about my family, about feeling invisible. You did the right thing, she said. They were taking advantage of you. I keep telling myself that, I admit it. But part of me still feels guilty. Why? Because you stood up for yourself. Because they're my parents, and Brooke is my sister. I'm supposed to just forgive them, right? Vanessa shook her head. Forgiveness isn't the same as being a doormat, Ashley. You can love your family and still set boundaries. Her words stuck with me. I'd spent so long trying to earn my family's love that I'd forgotten I didn't have to. I could just walk away. But walking away was easier said than done. Brooke came back from Paris 3 weeks after my birthday and called me again. This time, I answered. Ashley, what the hell is going on? Mom and Dad are furious with you. I'm sure they are. They said you took money out of their account. Is that true? It was my money, Brooke. But they needed it. No, they didn't. They used it to send you to Paris. She was quiet for a moment. I didn't know that. Of course you didn't. You never know anything, do you? You just get to coast through life while the rest of us pick up the pieces. That's not fair, she said, her voice small. Maybe not. But it's true. Ashley, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. It doesn't matter anymore, I interrupted. Just enjoy your life, Brooke. That's what you're good at. I hung up and blocked her number. That night, I looked at myself in the mirror. I didn't recognize the person staring back. She looked harder, angrier, but also stronger. I thought about my mom's Instagram comment. She's the only one who makes us proud. And I realized something. I didn't need them to be proud of me. I just needed to be proud of myself. And for the first time in my life, I was. I scrolled through my old photos. Work events, dinners with friends, solo trips. In every single one, I was smiling, but the smile never reached my eyes. I looked tired, defeated. Right then, I took a selfie, standing in my bathroom, in sweatpants, messy hair. And I smiled. A real smile. Because I'd finally done something for me. I posted it on my own Instagram with a simple caption, 30 and thriving. I didn't tag anyone. I didn't need to. This wasn't for them. It was for me. A month passed before my parents reached out again. I'd blocked Brooke's number, but my mom found another way. Email. Subject line. We need to talk about this situation. I almost deleted it without reading. Almost. But curiosity got the better of me. Ashley, I read, *, your father and I have been discussing your recent behavior, and we think you owe us an explanation. Taking that money was extremely selfish, especially when you knew we had plans. Brooke has been very upset by all of this, and frankly, so have we. We raised you better than this. We expect you to return the money immediately and apologize to your sister for ruining her trip experience. She's been crying every day since she found out what you did. Family is supposed to support each other, and you've let us all down. Please call us so we can resolve this like adults. Mom. Asterisk I read it 3 times. Each time, my blood pressure rising. They expected me to apologize? To return the money? And somehow, in their twisted logic, I was the one who'd ruined Brooke's trip. A trip she'd already taken and enjoyed. A trip funded by my own hard-earned money. I typed out a response, my fingers flying. Asterisk Mom, I don't owe you anything. Not an explanation, not an apology, and certainly not that money. I gave it to you in good faith, believing you needed it for medical bills and essential expenses. Instead, you used it to spoil Brooke while treating me like I didn't exist. I'm done being your backup bank account. I'm done being invisible. Don't contact me again unless you're ready to have an honest conversation about how you've treated me for the last 30 years. Ashley. Asterisk I hit send before I could second-guess myself. The medical billing course was going well. 2 months in, excelling in all my classes. Patricia and I had become genuine friends, studying together, sharing our lives. She was the first person I told the full extent of what happened with my family. They said what? She asked, eyes wide with disbelief, as we sat in the coffee shop, textbooks spread across the table. They want me to apologize and return the money. Are they insane? Apparently. I took a sip of coffee. My mom made it sound like I'd committed some terrible crime. Patricia shook her head. You know what I think? I think they're panicking. They got used to having that cushion of money, and now it's gone. They're trying to guilt you into giving it back. It's working a little, I admitted. I keep thinking about Brooke crying. Brooke's a grown woman. If she's crying, it's because she finally had to face reality. I wanted to believe that. Really. But there was still a part of me that felt guilty. That part, trained since childhood to put everyone else first, to smooth things over, to make sure everyone was happy. Everyone except me. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. But I recognized the area code. Virginia. Against my better judgment, I answered. Hello. Ashley. It's Dad. I should have hung up. Blocked the number immediately. But something in his voice stopped me. What do you want? I want to talk. Really talk. Not argue. Not fight. Just talk. I hesitated. I'm listening. Your mom's email was out of line. I told her that. But Ashley, you have to understand where we're coming from. The money, we had plans for it. Plans that didn't include me. He sighed. It's not that simple. Actually, Dad, it is. You took my money and gave it to Brooke. You let Mom post that comment about Brooke being the only one who made you proud. You forgot my birthday. It really is that simple. We didn't forget your birthday. Your mom was just distracted with getting Brooke to the airport. That's worse, Dad. That's so much worse. You chose to prioritize Brooke over me. Again, like you always do. Brooke needs more support. She's not as stable as you are. There it was. The excuse. I'd heard it 1,000 times. Asterisk Brooke needs more. Brooke's struggling. Brooke deserves special treatment. Asterisk and me? I was just supposed to be stable. Solid. The one who never needed anything. I'm not doing this anymore, I said quietly. I'm not going to keep setting myself on fire to keep everyone else warm. Ashley, no. No, Dad. I'm done. I took my money back, and I'm using it to better my life. If you can't be happy for me, then we don't have anything else to talk about. I hung up and immediately blocked the number. My hands were shaking, but a strange sense of calm washed over me. Every time I stood up to them, it got a little easier. The guilt was still there, but it was quieter now, easier to ignore. Vanessa noticed my mood at work. You okay? You seem tense. My dad called. Oh no, what happened? I told her about the conversation, about his excuse, about finally having enough. Vanessa listened without interrupting. Then, you know what I think? I think you're grieving. Grieving? Yeah. You're grieving the family you thought you had, or the family you wanted to have. And that's okay. It's normal. But you can't let that grief pull you back into their dysfunction. She was right. I was grieving. I was mourning the relationship I'd never have with my parents, the sisterhood Brooke and I would never share. But more than that, I was grieving the version of myself who'd spent so many years trying to earn love that should have been freely given. That weekend, studying at the coffee shop, my phone buzzed. Another unknown number. This time, it was Brooke. Asterisk Ashley, please talk to me. I got a new phone. I didn't know about the money. I didn't know they were using yours. I'm so sorry. Can we please talk? Asterisk I stared at the message for a long time. Part of me wanted to respond, to hear what she had to say, but another part, the stronger part, knew it wouldn't change anything. I typed back, Brooke, I need space. I'm not ready to talk yet. Maybe someday, but not now. She responded immediately. Asterisk, I understand. I'm here when you're ready. I love you. Asterisk, I didn't reply. 3 months into my medical billing course, something unexpected happened. My instructor, Diane, pulled me aside after class. Ashley, I wanted to talk to you about your work. You're one of the top students in the program. Thank you, I said, surprised. I'm serious. Your attention to detail is exceptional, and you have a real knack for this. Have you thought about what you want to do after you finish? I was hoping to find a position at a hospital or clinic, something stable. Diane smiled. I have a friend who works at Virginia Commonwealth University Health System. They're looking for someone to join their billing department. It's a senior position, and the pay is excellent. I'd like to recommend you. My heart skipped. Really? Really? You'd have to interview, of course, but I think you'd be perfect for it. I walked out of class that day feeling lighter than I had in months. This was it. This was the opportunity I'd been working toward, and I'd done it all on my own, without my family's support or approval. When I got home, I found an envelope slipped under my door. No return address, but I recognized the handwriting. My mom's. I opened it with shaking hands. Inside was a birthday card, 3 months late, and a check for $500. The card read, Asterisk, we're sorry we missed your birthday. We hope this makes up for it. Love, Mom and Dad. Asterisk, $500. A fraction of what I'd given them over the years. And they thought this would fix things. I tore up the check and threw it in the trash. The interview at VCU Health System was scheduled for the following Tuesday. I spent the entire weekend preparing. Vanessa helped me pick out a professional outfit. The morning of, I woke up with butterflies. This was the biggest opportunity I'd had in years. I wasn't going to let family drama ruin it. The interview went better than I could have imagined. The hiring manager, Caroline, was impressed with my sales background and my dedication to the medical billing program. We need someone who's organized, detail-oriented, and can handle high-pressure situations, Caroline said. From what Diane told me and what I'm seeing here, you fit that description perfectly. Thank you. I'm really excited about this opportunity. The position comes with full benefits, and the starting salary is $75,000 a year. Does that work for you? I nearly fell out of my chair. $75,000. Almost double what I was making. That works perfectly, I managed to say. Great. I'll be in touch by the end of the week with our decision. I walked out of the hospital feeling like I was floating. This was really happening. My life was actually turning around. When I got back to my car, I had 6 missed calls from my mom and 3 from my dad. I ignored them all. That evening, Vanessa invited me out to celebrate. I told her about the interview, about the salary, how surreal everything felt. You deserve this, she said, raising her glass. After everything you've been through, you deserve something good. I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, I admitted, like something's going to go wrong. Nothing's going to go wrong. You're talented. You've worked hard, and you're finally putting yourself first. That's not selfish. That's survival. We talked for hours. For the first time in months, I felt genuinely happy. Not just relieved or vindicated, but actually happy. When I got home, there was another email from my mom. Subject line, emergency. My stomach dropped. Despite everything, they were still my parents. If something was really wrong, I needed to know. I opened it. Asterisk, Ashley, we need to talk immediately. Your father lost his job last week, and we're in serious financial trouble. We need that money back. This isn't a request. This is a genuine emergency. We could lose the house. Please call us as soon as you get this. Mom. Asterisk, I read it twice. My happiness from the evening drained away. My dad lost his job. They might lose the house. And somehow, this was my responsibility? Except it wasn't. I'd given them $36,000 over 6 years. They'd used it for luxury trips and gifts for Brooke instead of saving for actual emergencies. This was the consequence of their choices, not mine. But the guilt was crushing. They were my parents. No matter how badly they treated me, did I really want them to lose their home? I called Vanessa. They're saying it's an emergency, I told her. My dad lost his job. They might lose the house. Ashley, listen to me very carefully. This is not your problem. But what if they're telling the truth? What if they really are in trouble? Then they need to figure it out like adults. They can downsize. They can get new jobs. They can ask Brooke for help. You are not their safety net. You gave them $36,000 and they wasted it. If they're in financial trouble now, that's on them. I know you're right. I know that, but no buts. You're about to start an amazing new job. You're building a life for yourself. Don't let them drag you back down. I took a deep breath. You're right. You're absolutely right. After I hung up with Vanessa, I replied to my mom's email. Asterisk Mom, I'm sorry to hear about Dad's job, but I can't help you financially. I gave you $36,000 over the years, and you chose to spend it on things that weren't emergencies. I have my own life to worry about now. I suggest you talk to Brooke about helping out, since she's the one you've always prioritized. Best of luck, Ashley. Asterisk I hit send and turned off my phone. 3 days later, I got the call from Caroline. I'd gotten the job. I started crying right there in my living room. Happy tears. Relieved tears. Tears for everything I'd been through to get to this moment. I'd done it. I'd actually done it. I called Patricia first. She screamed so loud I had to pull the phone away from my ear. I'm so proud of you, she said. This is just the beginning, Ashley. You're going to do amazing things. Then Vanessa, who insisted we go out to celebrate properly. We went to a nice restaurant. I ordered the most expensive thing on the menu and didn't feel guilty. To new beginnings, Vanessa said, raising her glass. To new beginnings, I echoed. My start date at the hospital was in 3 weeks. I gave my notice. The medical billing course was winding down, and I'd finished with top marks. Everything was finally falling into place. Then Brooke showed up at my apartment. I was coming home from the grocery store when I saw her sitting on the steps. She looked different. Thinner. Tired. Her usual polished appearance was gone. What are you doing here? I asked, not unkindly, but not warmly either. I needed to see you. To apologize in person. Brooke, I told you I need space. I know, but please just give me 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. I hesitated. Then, 5 minutes. I unlocked the door. We went up to my apartment. Brooke stood awkwardly, looking around like she'd never been there before. She hadn't. I'd never invited her. Ashley, I didn't know, she started. I swear I didn't know they were using your money. When I found out, I confronted them. We had a huge fight, and they told me you were being dramatic, that you'd given them the money freely, and now you were trying to hold it over their heads. But I know that's not true. I went through their bank statements. I saw everything. I crossed my arms. So what do you want? Absolution? No. I want you to know that I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being oblivious, for taking everything for granted, for not realizing how badly they were treating you. You're my sister, and I should have noticed. Her voice cracked, and I saw tears forming. Brooke, you were just being who they taught you to be. I don't blame you for that, but I should have been better. I should have paid attention. I should have stood up for you. I softened a little. Yeah, you should have. I told them I'm not taking any more money from them until they apologize to you. And I meant it. That surprised me. You did. I did. And they're furious with me now, too. Apparently, I'm being ungrateful. Despite everything, I felt a small flicker of sympathy. Welcome to my world. I don't know how you dealt with this for so long. I didn't have a choice. Brooke wiped her eyes. I'm moving out of their house. I got my own apartment, and I'm going back to school to finish my degree. I'm not going to be their perfect little princess anymore. Good for you, I said, and I meant it. Do you think we could ever be real sisters? Not just by blood, but actually be there for each other. I thought about it. Maybe someday. But it's going to take time, Brooke. A lot of time. I understand. I'll wait as long as it takes. After she left, I sat on my couch. She was trying. Actually trying. It didn't erase the past, but it was something. My phone buzzed with another email from my mom. I almost didn't open it. But something made me click. Asterisk Ashley, I don't know what you said to Brooke, but she's refusing to help us. You've turned her against us. You're tearing this family apart. I hope you're happy. Mom. Asterisk I deleted the email without responding. I was happy, and that was what terrified them the most. The next 2 weeks passed in a blur. I finished the medical billing course, received my certification, and prepared for my new job. Patricia threw me a small celebration. Simple, just pizza and cake, but it felt more genuine than any family gathering I'd ever attended. Speech, someone called out. I stood up, awkward but grateful. I just want to say thank you. 6 months ago, I was in a really dark place. I felt invisible and unappreciated. But this course, and all of you, helped me remember that I'm worth something. So, thank you for being there for me. Everyone clapped, and Patricia pulled me into a hug. You're going to kill it at that hospital, she whispered. The day before I started my new job, I did something I'd been putting off. I went through all my social media and unfollowed my parents. I didn't block them, but I didn't want to see their posts anymore. As I scrolled, I noticed something odd. My mom had posted a status update 2 days earlier. Asterisk, sometimes your children disappoint you in ways you never imagined. We raised Ashley to be better than this, but she's chosen selfishness over family. Praying for her to see the light. Asterisk, the post had dozens of comments. Most supportive of my mom, but a few stood out. My Aunt Linda, my dad's sister, commented, asterisk, maybe it's time to look at your own actions instead of blaming Ashley. I've watched you treat that girl like garbage for years. She deserves better. Asterisk, and my cousin Jake. Asterisk, Ashley's been supporting you guys financially for years, and you never even thanked her. Maybe she got tired of being taken for granted. Asterisk, I felt a rush of vindication. Other people had noticed. Other people knew the truth. I screenshotted the post and comments, saved them to a folder. Insurance. Just in case. My first day at VCU Health System was nerve-wracking, but exhilarating. Caroline showed me around. The department was busy but organized. You'll do great, Caroline said. If you need anything, just ask. I spent the first week learning systems, meeting departments. It was a lot to absorb, but I loved every minute. This was real. This was mine, and nobody could take it away from me. At the end of my first week, Caroline called me into her office. I wanted to check in and see how you're adjusting. It's been amazing, I said. Honestly, thank you again for this opportunity. You've earned it. I've been getting great feedback. You're catching on fast. I'm trying my best. I can tell. And I wanted you to know that there's room for growth here. If you continue performing at this level, I could see you moving into a management position within a year or two. Management within a year or two. I could barely process it. That would be incredible, I managed to say. Just keep doing what you're doing. I left her office feeling like I was walking on air. That weekend, I finally responded to Brooke's last text. I invited her to lunch at a casual cafe. Nothing fancy, nothing emotionally charged. Just two sisters trying to figure out if they could salvage something. She showed up looking nervous, clutching her purse. Thanks for agreeing to meet, she said. I figured it was time. We ordered sandwiches, made small talk. Her new apartment, school plans, my new job. It felt stilted, awkward, but it was a start. I talked to Mom and Dad again, she said eventually. They're still refusing to take responsibility. They think you're being vindictive. Of course they do. I told them I wasn't going to be part of their games anymore. That if they wanted a relationship with me, they needed to grow up and apologize to you. How'd that go? About as well as you'd expect. Mom hung up on me. Dad called me an ungrateful brat. I felt a pang of sympathy. I'm sorry. Don't be. You were right about everything. I was so blind, Ashley. I took everything for granted. And I let them turn me into this spoiled, oblivious person. I don't want to be that anymore. Change takes time. I know. But I'm willing to put in the work. If you'll let me. I looked at her, really looked at her, and saw something I hadn't before. Sincerity. Remorse. A genuine desire to be better. Okay, I said finally. But we're starting from scratch. No expectations. No pressure. Just two people trying to be sisters. I can live with that. We finished lunch and parted ways with an awkward but genuine hug. It wasn't forgiveness, not yet. But it was a beginning. That night, a notification. My mom had tagged me in a Facebook post. Against my better judgment, I clicked. A long, rambling message about family values, respect, and how children owe their parents everything. And at the end, asterisk Ashley, if you're reading this, know that your father and I are heartbroken by your actions. We're praying you'll come back to us before it's too late. Asterisk, the comments were a mix of support for my parents and questions about what had happened. Some relatives were asking me directly. I could have ignored it. Probably should have. But something inside me snapped. I commented, asterisk Mom, I gave you $36,000 over 6 years to help with medical bills and expenses. You used it to fund luxury trips and gifts for Brooke while ignoring me completely. You forgot my birthday. Publicly stated that Brooke was the only child who made you proud. And now you're trying to guilt me into giving you more money. I'm done being your ATM. If you want a relationship with me, start by apologizing and taking responsibility for your actions. Ashley, asterisk I hit post before I could second-guess myself. Within minutes, the comments poured in. My Aunt Linda commented. Finally, someone said it. My mom responded. Asterisk this is a private family matter. How dare you air our business publicly? Asterisk I replied. Asterisk you made it public when you tagged me. I'm just telling my side of the story. Asterisk then I logged off and blocked both my parents on all social media. My hands were shaking, but I felt lighter than I had in years. I'd finally told the truth. I'd finally stood up for myself in a way that couldn't be ignored or dismissed. And I was done apologizing for it. The Facebook post exploded overnight. By morning, over 200 comments, countless shares. My phone flooded with messages. My Aunt Linda called at 7 a.m. "Ashley, honey, are you okay?" "I'm fine. Better than fine, actually. I just saw what you posted." I had no idea it was that bad. Most people didn't. They were good at hiding it. "Well, the truth is out now. Your Uncle Tom and I have been talking, and we want you to know we're on your side. What your parents did was inexcusable." "Thank you. That means a lot. And between you and me, your mother is losing her mind. She's been calling everyone in the family, trying to get them to side with her. It's not going well for her." I felt a small surge of satisfaction. Good. After hanging up, I checked my email. 3 messages from my mom, each more desperate. The first, angry. The second, manipulative. The third, almost pleading, asking me to delete the post. I deleted all 3 without responding. At work that Monday, I threw myself into my new role. The hospital billing department was complex, demanding, but I loved the challenge. Caroline had given me several high-priority accounts. During lunch, Vanessa called. "So, I saw your Facebook post. You and everyone else. Are you okay?" That took guts. I'm tired of hiding their dysfunction. If they wanted privacy, they shouldn't have aired their grievances publicly first. Fair point. How are they taking it? Not well, from what I hear. But that's not my problem anymore. Good for you. Seriously, I'm proud of you. That afternoon, a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer. "Hello. Ashley. It's your dad." I tensed. "How did you get this number?" "I asked your cousin Jake." "Please don't hang up." I said nothing, waiting. "Your mother is beside herself." That Facebook post. "You've humiliated us in front of the entire family. You humiliated yourselves." I just told the truth. "We need to meet face to face. We need to resolve this." "There's nothing to resolve, Dad. You and Mom made your choices. I made mine. We're done." "Ashley, please. We're your parents. Then maybe you should have acted like it. I'm asking you one more time. Meet with us this week. We'll buy you dinner. We'll talk things through like adults." I almost laughed. Like adults? "Dad, adults don't forget their daughter's birthday. Adults don't steal money from one child to spoil another. Adults take responsibility for their actions. We're willing to admit we made mistakes." That stopped me. "You're willing to admit it?" "Yes. We know we haven't been perfect. We want to make things right." I was quiet for a long moment. Part of me wanted to refuse, to keep the wall up. But another part, the part that still remembered being a little girl who just wanted her parents to love her, wondered if maybe, just maybe, they were sincere. "Fine," I said. "One dinner. But I choose the place. And Brooke comes, too." "Why does Brooke need to be there?" "Because she's part of this family, too. And she deserves to hear whatever you have to say." He hesitated. "Okay. When?" "Friday night, 6 p.m. I'll text you the address." After I hung up, I immediately called Brooke. "They want to meet," I told her. "All of us. Friday night." "What did you say?" "I said yes, but I need you there as backup." "Of course I'll be there." "And Brooke, don't tell them what we've talked about. I want to see if they're actually going to be honest, or if this is just another manipulation." "Got it." I spent the next few days preparing. I made a list of everything I wanted to say, every grievance I'd buried. I wasn't going to yell or cry. I was going to be calm, clear, and firm. They were going to hear me, whether they liked it or not. Friday came faster than I expected. I chose a quiet restaurant downtown. Public enough they couldn't make a scene, private enough for a serious conversation. I arrived early. Brooke showed up 15 minutes before our parents. "You okay?" she asked. "I will be." At exactly 6 p.m., my parents walked in. My mom looked older, her face tight with stress. My dad had lost weight, his shoulders hunched. They sat down across from us. For a moment, nobody spoke. Finally, my dad cleared his throat. "Thank you for agreeing to meet. Let's just get to it," I said. "You wanted to talk, so talk." My mom folded her hands on the table. "Ashley, we owe you an apology." I waited. "We've been thinking a lot about what you said, about the money, and how we've treated you. And you're right. We haven't been fair to you. Go on. We've always worried about Brooke more because she struggled with things you seemed to handle easily. You were always so independent, so capable. We thought you didn't need us as much. So you just stopped trying?" "We didn't stop trying. We just prioritized differently." You forgot my birthday, Mom. You commented on Instagram that Brooke was the only one who made you proud. How was that prioritizing differently? She looked down. That comment was a mistake. I was just excited for your sister. A mistake you left up for everyone to see. My dad jumped in. We're here because we want to fix this. We want our family back. You want your ATM back? I corrected. Let's be honest about what this is really about. That's not fair, my mom said. Isn't it? Dad lost his job. You're in financial trouble. And suddenly you want to reconcile. The timing is pretty convenient. Brooke spoke up for the first time. She's right. You didn't care about fixing things until you needed money. My mom turned to her, shocked. Brooke, you know that's not true. Actually, I don't. Ashley's been telling the truth about everything. I went through the bank statements. I saw where all her money went. And I've been thinking about how differently you treated us growing up. She's not making this up. We gave you both everything we could, my dad insisted. No, I said firmly. You gave Brooke everything. You gave me leftovers and criticism. The table fell silent. Finally, my mom's facade cracked. What do you want from us, Ashley? You want us to grovel? To beg? We're here. We're apologizing. What more do you want? I want you to mean it. We do mean it. Then prove it. Tell me one thing you're proud of me for. One accomplishment you celebrated. One time you put my needs first. She opened her mouth, then closed it. She couldn't think of anything. The realization hit me like a punch to the gut. They really couldn't think of a single thing. That's what I thought, I said quietly. My dad leaned forward, his voice strained. Ashley, you're being unreasonable. We're trying here. No, you're trying to manipulate me into feeling guilty, so I'll give you more money. There's a difference. That's not what this is about, my mom protested. Then what is it about? Because from where I'm sitting, this looks like a last-ditch effort to get back into my good graces so you can use me again. Brooke reached over and squeezed my hand under the table. The gesture gave me strength. Let me make something very clear, I continued. I'm not giving you any more money. Not now. Not ever. I spent 6 years supporting you, and you used me. That's done. My mom's eyes filled with tears. We're going to lose the house, Ashley. Is that what you want? To see your parents homeless? You're not going to be homeless. You have options. You can downsize. You can get jobs. You can ask Brooke for help, since she's apparently the only daughter you care about. I already told them no, Brooke said quietly. I'm not enabling this anymore either. My parents looked at her with matching expressions of betrayal. You too? My dad asked. We raised you better than this. No, you raised me to be selfish and entitled. Ashley's helping me see that. My mom pushed back from the table, her voice rising. This is ridiculous. We've apologized. We've admitted we made mistakes. What more do you want? I want you to understand why what you did was wrong. I want you to acknowledge that you hurt me. Not just say sorry because you think it's what I want to hear. Fine. You want specifics? We're sorry we forgot your birthday. We're sorry we didn't celebrate your achievements. We're sorry we used your money. Is that what you wanted to hear? Say it like you mean it. My mom's face hardened. I've said all I'm going to say. If that's not good enough for you, then I guess we're done here. She stood up, grabbing her purse. My dad looked between us, conflicted. Are you coming? She asked him. He stood slowly. Ashley, I hope you reconsider. Family is important. Family is important, I agreed. That's why I'm not letting you abuse me anymore. They left without another word. Brooke and I sat there in silence. Well, she finally said. That went about as well as expected. Yeah. Are you okay? I am actually. I gave them a chance. They blew it. That's on them. We ordered dinner and spent the next hour talking about everything except our parents. Brooke told me about her new apartment, her classes. I told her about work, my future plans. For the first time, we were just two sisters having dinner. No competition, no favoritism, no drama, just us. When we left, Brooke hugged me tight. Thank you for giving me another chance, she said. Thank you for showing up. Over the next few weeks, things settled into a new normal. I excelled at my job, impressing Caroline. The hospital environment suited me, and I found genuine satisfaction knowing my work helped people, even indirectly. My parents tried reaching out a few more times. Emails, voicemails, a letter. Each message was the same. Apologetic on the surface, but manipulative underneath. Always circling back to their financial problems. I ignored them all. The Facebook drama eventually died down, but not before several relatives reached out privately to tell me they'd suspected something was wrong for years. My Aunt Linda became a regular presence, inviting me to dinners and holidays. She'd always been kind, but now she was actively supportive. Your mother is furious with me, she told me one Sunday over coffee. She thinks I'm turning the family against her. Are you? Nope. She did that all by herself. I'm just refusing to pretend everything is fine. 3 months after that disastrous dinner, Caroline called me into her office again. I have some news, she said, smiling. We're creating a new position, Assistant Director of Medical Billing. I'd like to offer it to you. My jaw dropped. Already? You've proven yourself, Ashley. You're organized, efficient, and the team respects you. The position comes with a significant raise and more responsibilities. What do you say? Yes. Absolutely yes. Great. We'll make it official next week. I left her office in a daze. Assistant Director. 6 months ago, I'd been crying over a birthday cupcake, feeling worthless and invisible. Now, I was being promoted to a leadership position at a major hospital. I called Vanessa immediately. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. I can't believe it's happening. I can. You've worked incredibly hard. You deserve this. That weekend, Patricia threw me an impromptu celebration. Small. Just her kids, Vanessa, and Brooke. But it meant everything. These people had seen me at my lowest and supported me as I rebuilt my life. To Ashley, Patricia said, raising her glass of soda. The strongest person I know. Everyone echoed the toast, and I felt tears prick my eyes. Thank you, I said. All of you, for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself. Later that night, driving home, my phone rang. It was my dad. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello. Ashley. It's Dad. Please don't hang up. What do you want? I wanted to tell you that I got a new job. It doesn't pay as much as the old one, but it's something. And your mom is working part-time at a retail store. Good for you. We're going to be okay. We're figuring it out. I waited for the ask, for the manipulation, but it didn't come. I also wanted to say I'm sorry. Really sorry. Not because I want something from you, but because you deserve to hear it. We were wrong. We treated you terribly. And there's no excuse for that. I pulled over, my hands shaking. Your mother isn't ready to admit it yet, but I am. You were right about everything. We took you for granted. We played favorites. We used you. And I'm sorry. Tears streamed down my face. This was what I'd wanted to hear for 30 years. Thank you, I managed to say. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't even expect you to want a relationship with me. I just needed you to know that I see what we did, and I'm ashamed of it. We talked for another 20 minutes. He didn't ask for money. Didn't try to guilt me. He just talked, and I listened. And for the first time in my life, I felt like my dad actually saw me. When we hung up, I sat in my car for a long time, processing. It wasn't forgiveness. Not yet. But it was a start. The following months brought changes I never could have imagined. My new role kept me busy, but fulfilled. I implemented new systems, saving the hospital thousands. Caroline praised my work. Brooke and I grew closer, meeting for dinner once a week. She'd enrolled in community college, working toward a business degree. She'd also started therapy to work through the family dynamics. My therapist says I was conditioned to see myself as superior, she told me one evening. And that recognizing that is the first step to changing. How's that going? It's hard. Really hard. I keep catching myself expecting special treatment, and then I have to remind myself that's not normal. The fact that you're trying means something. My relationship with my dad slowly improved. We talked every few weeks. My mom still hadn't apologized, and I'd accepted she probably never would. Some people aren't capable of that kind of self-reflection. 6 months into my new position, I attended a conference in Washington. I met Grace, who ran a consulting firm. You have some really interesting ideas, she said after my presentation. Have you ever thought about consulting? I pocketed her card, not thinking much of it. That Christmas, I spent the holiday with Aunt Linda's family. It was the first Christmas in years where I felt genuinely welcomed. Brooke came too. My parents called on Christmas morning. My dad wished me a Merry Christmas. I could hear my mom in the background, though she didn't get on the phone. How's your day going? He asked. It's good. Really good. I'm glad. You deserve it. After we hung up, I didn't feel sad or angry. I just felt at peace. The new year brought more opportunities. Caroline approached me about a master's degree, with the hospital paying for most of it. I enrolled. Vanessa got engaged and asked me to be a bridesmaid. Patricia's daughter graduated high school and decided to pursue nursing, inspired by our stories. My life was full in ways I never thought possible. One Saturday in March, cleaning my apartment, I found the old birthday card my parents sent. The one with the $500 check I'd torn up. I'd kept the pieces in a drawer, though I wasn't sure why. I looked at them for a long moment, then threw them in the trash. I didn't need their money. I didn't need their approval. I had built a life I was proud of, surrounded by people who actually valued me. That evening, a message from Brooke. Just wanted to say, I'm proud of you for everything. I smiled and typed back, proud of you, too. A few days later, my mom finally broke her silence. An email, no subject line. Asterisk Ashley, I've been doing a lot of thinking. Your father tells me you're doing well, and I'm glad. I'm not good at apologies, and I don't know if I ever will be, but I want you to know that I do see you now. I see what we did, how we hurt you. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just wanted you to know that I'm trying to be better. Maybe one day we can talk. Mom. Asterisk, it wasn't the groveling apology I'd once fantasized about. It wasn't even a particularly good apology, but it was something. I wrote back, asterisk, thank you for saying that. I'm not ready to have a relationship yet, but maybe someday. I hope you and Dad are doing okay. Asterisk, she responded, we are, and I hope you are, too. That was enough for now. As spring turned to summer, my life continued to flourish. The hospital promoted me again, this time to Director of Revenue Operations, overseeing multiple departments. My salary had nearly tripled, and I started looking at houses. My parents struggled for a while, eventually selling their large house and moving into a smaller condo. They both worked, living within their means for the first time in years. According to Brooke, they talked about me sometimes, expressing regret, though my mom still struggled to say it directly. Brooke graduated from community college with honors and transferred to a 4-year university. She'd found her own path, independent of our parents' expectations, and I was genuinely proud of her. The relatives who'd sided with my parents quietly reached out. I was selective about who I let back in, choosing relationships that felt authentic. Aunt Linda remained a constant presence. I discovered cousins who'd had similar experiences with family favoritism, and we bonded over shared stories. 1 year after that fateful birthday, I celebrated turning 31 with a party at my new townhouse. Vanessa, Patricia, Brooke, Aunt Linda, and several colleagues came. We ate good food, drank wine, and I felt genuinely celebrated for the first time in my life. As everyone sang happy birthday, I looked around at these people who'd become my chosen family. I felt overwhelmed with gratitude, not for the struggle I'd endured, but for the strength I'd found within myself to fight back. My parents never regained their previous financial stability. My dad's new job paid less, and my mom's retail position was part-time. They lived modestly, something they'd never had to do when they had access to my money. The lavish trips and expensive gifts for Brooke became impossible, and according to my sister, they'd had to learn to budget for the first time in decades. Brooke told me our mom complained constantly about coupon clipping and sales, though she never acknowledged that she'd once had a comfortable cushion thanks to my contributions. My dad seemed to have genuinely changed, accepting responsibility. But my mom continued to make subtle comments to relatives, hinting that I could have prevented their struggles if I'd just been less selfish. The extended family, however, saw through the manipulation now. Most had stopped enabling her narrative. Looking back, I realized that withdrawing that money wasn't revenge. It was self-preservation. I'd spent so many years trying to earn love that should have been freely given, trying to prove my worth to people who'd already decided I wasn't enough. Taking back what was mine wasn't about hurting them. It was about finally choosing myself. And in doing so, I discovered something more valuable than any amount of money could buy: the unshakable knowledge that I was enough, that I'd always been enough, and that I didn't need anyone's approval to prove it. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's simply living well and refusing to let anyone dim your light ever again. Call to action asterisk, what about you? Have you ever had to draw a line in the sand with family, even when it felt impossibly hard? How did you navigate those difficult choices? Share your story in the comments below, because sometimes knowing you're not alone makes all the difference.